Hi everyone, Old Man Tech here. What you see before you is a water pump off of a Rug Doctor DCC-1. I understand they don't make them anymore to buy off the store. My gosh, they were like 500 bucks. I don't know, maybe they figured to make more money if they just keep renting and not make them for people to take home. But at any rate, I've used it a few times in the last 4 or 5 years, and most generally it's sat unattended. Well, when I went to use it the other day, of course the water pump didn't work, no water coming out. And for this unit here, look for your model number, DCC-1, and that's the model number, and it's got some other numbers on here. If you want to, you could take a screenshot of this and maybe zoom it in. They also used another number on these machines, which is a JYPC-7A with a // and then 51153 number after it. The other pump is this one here, the JLT P4XXA. Either one of those pumps, I guess, should work going by what I've researched. The reason I'm doing a video on this is because I've seen some other videos that maybe didn't get into the detail on the actual cleaning, and so that's what we're going to do on this one. Before watching this video, it might be good for you to watch Doug Thayer channel. He tells you how to take the machine apart to get access to the pump. And then Randy Weaver shows the pump disassembly also. But here we're just going to get into the details of the cleaning. Now, when you go and take these out, you'll find that there's little tie wraps holding the tubing to these fittings. You just have to cut those off. And then, of course, when you reassemble the machine, you want to put your tie wraps back on around that hose to make sure it doesn't slip off on you. Another thing I did too is I took a voltage meter and I checked the circuit board to ensure that there was 120 volts coming to this pump. And I took them off, so when you do anything like this, it's a good idea to mark it. This one says back, this one says F for front. That means this was on the front of the circuit board facing it. This is on the back of the circuit board facing it. And then I made a little note I put on here that the discharge is on that side. You can also tell that by the end of this plunger here and this valve on the end. That lets water go this way but won't let it come back. So as you can see, I've already taken this apart. I did soak it in some white vinegar, and that's the grime that's come off of it already from just doing a little bit of cleaning. I tried soaking it, it didn't work. I tried Doug Thayer's suggestion on this, and I even tried hot water, and then I filled it up with white vinegar and pushed it through the pump and let it sit there all night. That didn't do any good. So that told me that it needed to be taken apart. So going by this, that shows me that the nipples go down, and that's the discharge end. So then you'll get into your plunger here, and these two outer pieces that go on like this is how they go on. Discharge on this end, and that whole assembly goes in there. So once you take these screws out of these, I also marked a D for discharge on here because I tend to sometimes forget how I take things apart. And this is the input. So what I've done already that you haven't seen is these pieces here are got corrosion spots in them. Let me see if you can see it. You see that dark area in there, corrosion and dark. This one here had quite a bit of black spots in there. Still a little bit left. But what I did was I take some sandpaper, and this is 600. I have it available because I'm into modeling, so I have the finer sandpaper. And I put that on the end of a dowel rod. And put that in there. Just keep working it around back and forth until you get all that corrosion off of it. Now here's the plunger valve, and I put it in there to show the video, but check that spring out. It's stuck in there. I just stuck it in there to show this video, but see how I have to push it out? 1/2-inch dowel rod. So if you look inside of here, you can see, oh my gosh, all that rust-looking corrosion. So you want to clean all that off. So like I say, I used 600 here, and this was corroded too, so you just take a piece of that sandpaper and just keep working that a little bit until you get all that corrosion off of it. And then come in behind with some 4/0 steel wool. That's 4 zeros on the packaging. Shine that up nice and sweet. Let's just shine that up all the way around. I got most of the work done on that already, but as you can see, I still have to do the inside of this and the inside of this one. And then you can see there's corrosion, lime deposits, calcium or whatever on the end here. So I'm going to soak these. I'm going to soak these for a while I'm working on this in the white vinegar. And we'll come back after I get some of these parts cleaned up. I want to mention too, don't use sandpaper on this brass, or you might scratch it. And so I would just use the 4/0 steel wool on it. We'll show you here on this spot. Let's go over that a little bit. Loose table. See how that shined that up? I would do that on the inside and out. Don't use anything harsh on this to work that corrosion off. And we'll be back. Okay, we got the parts pretty much all shined up. Could get all the corrosion looking out of the tube here, but I did use the steel wool and went over it. And then I took a little bit of Remington oil and put some on a paper towel and put some lubrication in the cylinder here. Now you can see, whereas it was stuck before, it works with ease. So let's put her back together here. Okay, I'm going to put this in there, in the plastic spacer. There you see it's all put together. I'm going to shove that in there. Now we'll go by my instructions here. This is a discharge. Nipples point down, so it's going to go on like this. Got to go over that O-ring. Now we want to make sure we put the spring in there. Just like the other side, this O-ring goes inside of that brass tube. There. Like so. The screws back in. snug them up. Don't over tighten them. Going by my diagram here, nipples go down, just like that. That's why it's so important to, if you don't have a very good memory like me, to make some notes to yourself, take some pictures with your camera, make sure that the way you take it apart goes back together the same way. Okay, we'll get her put back in the machine. Okay, now we're going to see if the pump works. The pump is hooked up to the end of my turkey baster. It's got some water in it. This is the discharge side. When you turn it on, you want to turn it on the tool. The tool setting. So now we'll turn it on and see if the pump works. Yes, it does.
Good, now go away.
Hope this video helps somebody.